Daily Trust News Center, this from the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, organized labor set to begin nationwide strike midnight. Diri defeats Silva, re-elected as Bayelsa State Governor. Over 30 fishermen killed in Taraba boat mishap. And on the foreign scene, UK Interior Minister Braverman sacked amidst cabinet reshuffle. Hello and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV tonight. I am Eugenia Abu. The organized labor on Monday directed its members to commence a nationwide strike over the assault on NLC President Joe Ajaero starting from midnight Tuesday, November 14th. The organized labor, comprising Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, said all affiliate unions of the two labor centers have been directed to implement the resolution of the Joint National Executive Council of TUC and NLC. President of TUC, Festus Osifo, who addressed reporters at Labour House, said the strike would go ahead until governments at all levels wake up to their responsibility.
Instead of government to speak and stand on the side of justice and on the side of truth, some people in government, they were running their mouth and making all kinds of statements. So the two labor center has resolved to stand firmly by the decision of the joint NEC that was held last week, Tuesday, that effective 001 hours on the 14th of November, we shall declare a nationwide strike. So effective tomorrow or midnight today, a nationwide strike is going to commence. All affiliates of Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, all affiliates of Nigeria Labour Congress, all state councils of the two centers have been mobilized adequately. And this is going to be indefinite.
President of TUC, Festus Osifo. Hundreds of commuters have been left stranded following a protest by Lagos commercial drivers against the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority and Task Force on Monday. According to reports, the commercial drivers embarked on the strike to protest extortion. It has been observed that commuters were left stranded at various bus stops and motor parks due to the low turnout of commercial vehicles in Lagos State. Joining us via a phone call to discuss this is Daily Trust Southwest Bureau Chief Abiodun Alade. Give us a picture, Abiodun, of what it was like in Lagos today amid the strike by public transport workers.
Well, earlier today, we had thousands of commuters, commuters in their hundreds, who were stranded because they couldn't get vehicle to their place of destination. This actually caused a bit of commotion, but then we see some vehicles that were on the road, those that walk, and they had to exploit the situation by hiking their price. But then the situation today was a demonstration from the drivers that they will no longer tolerate the act of extortion, the act of extortion by officers of last man and task force.
So in the meantime, how is the state government reacting to this strike?
Yes, the Lagos State Police Command called a meeting that involved all the stakeholders, member of the NURTW, member of LASMA, member of the task force, and also government representative. And then there was there were some resolutions which included, okay, how do we checkmate the excesses of some of these government officials, and at the same time, how do we ensure that drivers obey traffic laws? So I think what the state government is trying to do is just to actually serve as a mediator between the parties to actually see that the state move forward.
Tell us, is there a chance that this will be resolved anytime soon?
Yes, I think the situation get better later this evening. We had more vehicles on the road, and then a very sad event happened this morning, where a private driver who was trying to evade arrest ran into two street sweepers, so which led to their death. So that also became another outcry from the public that the commercial bus drivers are complaining that these people are taking advantage of them. Now this same thing has happened to a private driver. So same thing happened. So I think that the government has been able to reach out. Member of last month today, there were very few on the road, So I think the state government will try to look at a way to actually make sure that they cover these excesses.
Thank you, Abiodun Alade, Daily Trust Southwest Bureau Chief, for bringing us up to date on that story from Lagos. Governor Duye Diri of Bayelsa State has secured re-election after the Independent National Electoral Commission announced him winner of the poll. Announcing the result at INEC headquarters in Yenagoa, the returning officer for the state and Vice Chancellor of Federal University of Technology, Minna, Niger State, Professor Kuta Farouk, said Diri polled a total number of 175,196 votes to defeat Timi Silva, the APC candidate, who polled 110,108 to come second. In a build-up to the announcement of the result in southern Niger, being the last local government where results was awaiting, there was tension in the state as well as around the INEC office as party supporters laid siege in the surrounding areas. There was commotion at the collation center after the declaration of Brass local government area result as party agents exchanged blows. Governor Diri, in his victory speech, thanked Bayelsans for the mandate, while calling for unity to move the state forward.
By your mandate to serve you for another 4 years. I want to express my heartfelt appreciation to everyone who cast your vote in my favor and in our favor, and has entrusted me with the responsibility of leading our beloved state again.
In a related development, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has declared the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in the November 11th governorship election in Kogi State, Ahmed Ododo, winner of the poll. Ahmed defeated his closest rival in the contest, candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Muritala Ajaka, in what has been a keen contest for the governor's seat. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman now reports.
Ahmed Osman Ododo of APC, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected.
The governorship election in Kogi State has been won and lost after months of contestation and heated political campaign. The returning officer for the election made the declaration despite plans by INEC to conduct fresh elections across 9 wards in Ogori Mogongo Council, with growing complaints of alleged overvoting in some polling units. Announcing the results, APC's Ahmed Ododo polled 446,237 to secure a landslide victory beating his closest rival Murtala Ajaka of the SDP, who scored 259,053 votes, as party agents expressed mixed reactions on the conduct of the exercise.
Yes, it's an election period. Everybody needs to talk and everybody needs to make complaint. An electoral process is a procedure which starts and must end. We're happy today that the INEC, I commend INEC for taking all the complaints from other parties, and they treated it. At the end of the day, they now find out that all their agitation and noise was just for them to be heard. But all the same, we're calling on all the parties to come and join hands with the new government. We run an open government in Kogi State, and I know that the incoming governor will definitely put his arm open for the other parties to come and be part of the government.
They complained yesterday as to the outcome of the results that was uploaded from the beavers to the IRF, where there were massive overvoting, even in the local government of upward of about 80,000. Difference between accredited voters and the vote that was in excess. And the National Commissioner issued a statement and a release, which is signed, to say that this is unacceptable and that it will be looked into. But they never did.
The announcement by INEC sent APC supporters into a frenzy as they jubilate through the night with security agents on high alert to maintain law and order. From Lokoja, the Kogi State capital, Shapiro Suleiman, Trust TV News.
The election in Imo has been won and lost, and residents in the state have been reacting to the quality of the election while sharing their expectations of the re-elected government. Ajibade Praise has more on their views.
I'm standing right in front of the building housing the seat of power of the state. With the conclusion of the election, the battle of who becomes the next governor that will occupy the seat of power has come to an end. Activities has resumed back in the state. The roads that were once barricaded due to the election are now open. However, residents are bearing their minds on the outcome of the election.
Well, I'm not really happy that he won, but that is something I can do. So in the past 4 years, his governance was not really encouraging because the rate of death, the rate of bloodshed, and the hardship in the country, so it was too much. So this time, we just pray that this time he will use it to fix up the things that he has spoiled in the past.
Okay, well, I'm from Imo State. Our Excellency Governor Hope Uzodimma winning is a very good, it's a nice thing, you know, probably deserves the position. So those who are opposing the motion that is not supposed to be there, I don't know their problem. I don't know how. For my own take, I'm happy he won the election. So I believe his entrance now into this election, this extra 4 years is about to, you know, engage in. I believe that he's going to do better than before.
On his part, speaking shortly after he was declared the winner, Governor Hope Uzodimma expressed delight over his victory, assuring Imo residents of more dividends of democracy, even as residents continue to ask for more.
So this confidence is imposed on me. I shall not be threatened. I will go for our story is a good story. It was said to be on the news, not for bad, but for good.
But all I believe is that if you want to win the normal way. So Open has won. Congratulations to him. But please, my advice to him is that he should look unto the people, to the poor masses, and should look to them. What make things light for them so that they will benefit from your government.
I'm sure that he will consolidate his grounds, whether we like it or not. Probably people might have told him certain mistakes he made in the past, and having been re-elected, I believe and trust strongly that he's going to correct such mistakes.
Though the election has come to an end, but the call for good governance still continues. Residents of the state are calling on the government to implement policies that will herald a new beginning. They want a better livelihood. Ajibade praise Trust TV News, Owerri.
Following the conclusion of the November 11th off-cycle elections in Imo, Kogi and Bayelsa states, the Center for Democracy and Development has highlighted incumbency factor, identity politics, vote trading and other issues as some of the significant challenges faced during the exercise. The credibility of the election has become the subject of public scrutiny, with observers giving mixed reviews. Noel Sampson has more.
Election observers have begun reviewing the quality and credibility of the exercise as INEC concludes the conduct of the off-season elections. For the Center for Democracy and Development, there is need to be an overhaul of the responsibility in election management that will improve the process.
The statement is set in the broader context of the economic, political, and socio-cultural environment, which not only frames but continues to pose challenges for the country's competitive party and electoral politics. Major features of this environment are the following: incumbency, identity, institutions, inducements, information disorder. These features have in recent years progressively constituted more disturbingly than before, and fetters on the country's electoral democracy, despite limited success in sanitizing the country's electoral process.
While the center identified the prevailing challenge that characterized Nigerian elections, they also recommended possible solutions to remedy them.
So, what is important is that we look at those elements of the political environment which continue to pose serious challenges to the conduct of democracy in this country. The political parties themselves are not mirror of what democracy should be. And they are the ones who, of course, by constitution, by any arrangement, will form governments. So I think the point is that for Nigerians to start making it clear to the political parties that they are the problem. And but we keep to encourage them by diverting attention from what they are not doing right to looking at problems or failures in other institutions of society. And they are doing all their best to delegitimize the electoral process in this country.
The off-cycle elections have left much to be desired as complaints and controversies through the conduct of the exercise. Noel Sampson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The off-cycle elections in Imo, Kogi and Bayelsa continue to generate reactions as public debate remains polarized over the credibility of the exercise. As the dust settles following the declaration of winners by INEC, election observers have begun rating the quality of the elections and the performance of stakeholders involved in the electoral process. Dorcas Yakubu now reports.
The battle for the governorship seat is over in what many describe as a largely peaceful but somewhat flawed exercise. As the controversy around the election continues to divide opinions, Yaga Africa, which is a non-profit organization promoting participatory democracy, human rights and civic participation, youth initiative for advocacy, growth and advancement, believes there have been substantial improvements in the just concluded off-cycle governorship elections.
In Imo State, the beavers worked throughout the day in 94% of polling units. However, it malfunctioned, and where cases where it malfunctioned and it was fixed was in about 3% of polling units. In Kogi, the beavers worked throughout the day in 94% of polling units. It malfunctioned and it was fixed in 5% of polling units. And cases where it malfunctioned and it wasn't fixed was recorded in 1% of polling units.
While monitoring the exercise, Yaga Africa deployed the process and results verification for transparency methodology to observe Imo and Kogi state elections. Despite the reported challenges in the conduct of the exercise, the organization commended INEC's response to the reports of pre-filled result sheets in Kogi, while urging the Commission to ensure election fraud and malpractices are prosecuted.
The Commission, and in this case INEC's prompt response to the report of cases of pre-filled result sheets, that's from EC8As, in Kogi, was equally impressive. We hope that the Commission will fulfill its commitment to ensuring the culprits face the full wrath of the law. We hope that the reports, of several electoral offenses, compromise and unprofessional conduct on the part of police officers are duly investigated and that the culprits are properly punished.
The need for a critical review of the electoral process has been highlighted to ensure sustainability and development of Nigeria's election system. Dorcas Yakubu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And still staying with the off-cycle elections, the national chairman of the ruling All Progressives Congress, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, has commended the conduct of the off-cycle elections across Imo and Kogi states, where the party has secured election victory. Ganduje, in a congratulatory message signed by his chief press secretary, Edwin Olofu, late Sunday night, said APC's victory in the two states is a testament to the performance of Governor Uzodimma and the popularity of the party in Kogi State. Away from elections now, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited on Sunday brokered a peace deal between the management of Total Energies, operators of the NNPC Total Energies, the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association, and the Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers. At the meeting, according to a statement by NNPCL spokesman Olufemi Shoneye, the unions agreed to suspend ongoing industrial action leading to immediate restoration of 275,000 barrels of oil per day production. In a communique issued at the end of a marathon negotiation session chaired by Orishe Meiwa Eyeson, Executive Vice President, Upstream NNPC Limited, all parties are committed to resolving all the issues within an agreed framework. You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up ahead, family of murdered teenager demand justice. More news when we return. Do stay.
That's right. You too could be one of the 20 Zenith Bank customers that will win 150,000 Naira every 2 weeks from June 1st, 2023 until May 31st, 2024 in the Zenith Better Life Promo 3. To qualify, simply open a Zenith Bank account. For more information, visit www.zenithbank.com/betterlife. Live the
It was never a consensus. We did all our best. You see, in politics, you give your contribution to the best of your ability.
If you want, I'll forward to you this statement. You go to this bank and verify.
But there are people who say not spending money is not about you in itself.
Let me finish.
But there's so much to be done.
Let me finish. Now, you don't allow me to explain myself.
The recent development shows abductions are now a factor of informants embedded in community.
It's not about the people of Katsina to say that, no, during my administration I was able to stop insecurity. No, it's about collective responsibility for all of us.
And what we should ask ourselves is not what has been seen, is the life better? Are there more people who are unemployed who are not become employed? Is the level of corruption has gone down? Is there inclusion? All those issues.
We're actually a gas country with associated oil. Our focus has always been on oil, that we have never paid significant attention to gas.
To do it effectively, we need to have honest conversation with ourselves. Government needs to come down from its higher horse and communicate with the people and build trust.
There must be a solution. We cannot continue this way. They must come back to the table and agree. So whose child will do deny education? All these children that sit for jam, they want to go to higher institutions.
But just a short while ago you were saying that why bring 10 children when you cannot cater for them? So why bring
more universities where you cannot cater for the existing.
That's great.
If you are just joining us, this is News Hour on Trust TV. Here's a recap of some of our top stories. Organized labor set to begin nationwide strike midnight. And Diri defeats Silva, re-elected as Bayelsa State Governor. Moving on to other stories now. Over 30 fishermen, including children and women, have died in an engine boat mishap. The boat was conveying fishermen and their families from Ibi local government area to the eastern part of the country for fishing activities. According to reports, the engine boat conveying more than 50 fishermen, all from the same town, sailed from Ibi and capsized at an area known as Aishi and Zabu, located at the boundary between Taraba and Benue states along River Benue. Eyewitnesses say more than 20 children died and 12 of the parents also died in the mishap. Meanwhile, Governor Abu Kefas has described the latest boat mishap involving fishermen from Ibi as a terrible tragedy coming shortly after one of its kind at Karim Lamido. 2 street cleaners were killed on Monday by an unidentified driver attempting to escape a raid by officers of the Lagos State Traffic Management Agency at Charlie Boy bus stop via Oshodi Gbagada Expressway in Lagos State. The lifeless bodies of the cleaners were seen laid in a drainage channel as onlookers mourned. The gathering of onlookers and other street cleaners led to blockade of the road, leaving commuters stranded for hours. According to eyewitnesses, the victims, who were said to be from the same family, were hit by a vehicle whose driver lost control, swerving to escape an early morning raid by LASMA. At the venue, some street cleaners were seen ranting, accusing the state government of endangering their lives. In the meantime, there was a mild protest against the operation of LASMA at Ilezik bus stop close to Ikeja along. Drivers who participated in the protest carried placards bearing inscriptions to express their grievances against LASMA. Troops of the 1 Mechanized Division and Operation Well Punch of the Nigerian Army have killed 3 suspected bandits during a clearance operation in Kajuru local government area of Kaduna State. According to a statement by the Acting Deputy Director of Army Public Relations of the 1 Mechanized Division, Lieutenant Colonel Musa Yahaya, the troops on Sunday carried out the clearance operation around the Marochibia Forest, general area of Kajuru local government, during which they made contact with the bandits and immediately engaged them in a heavy gun battle. He disclosed that one of the bandits was neutralized by the troops, forcing the rest to flee in disarray with gunshot wounds into the surrounding forest. He said that troops during the operation recovered an AK-47 rifle, 1 locally fabricated AK-47 rifle, ammunition, and 1 mobile phone. The troops also carried out similar operations at Kawara and Filinjalo villages in Igabi local government area, during which they neutralized another bandit and recovered arms and ammunition, while others escaped with gunshot wounds. The Katsina State Police Command has foiled a suspected kidnap attempt at Gogalo village in the Jibia local government area of the state and rescued 3 kidnapped victims. This is contained in a statement on Monday in Katsina by Assistant Superintendent of Police Aliyu Abubakar Sadiq, the spokesman of the command. The team accordingly had continued to comb the surrounding bushes until November the 12th as the team succeeded in tracking down the suspected kidnappers, engaging them in a gun battle. Abubakar Sadiq said all the kidnapped victims were successfully rescued and hurt, adding that efforts are ongoing to arrest the fleeing suspects as the investigation proceeds. Trust TV's Abdullahi Yamadi gives us an update.
Gogalo is a farming community in Jibia local government area of Katsina State, which has been threatened by incessant bandits attacks in the past. Though the community is making frantic efforts to secure residents from bandits attacks through its vigilantes, police and other strategies, yet the bandits made some attempts to attack the village, abduct people, rustle animals, and perpetuate their heinous crimes. Some residents who spoke to Trust TV News on condition of anonymity said the bandits have been visiting the area disguising as travelers. Well, on noticing the suspicious movement of the bandits, the villagers quickly mobilized residents and informed the Jibia Divisional Police Headquarters to be on the alert in the event of any attack. On the 11th November, to be precise, the bandits came in large number wielding dangerous weapons and shooting sporadically in the air just to scare residents. They attacked Gogalo community and went away with 3 people. However, because of the prompt response from the police and a good understanding existing between the vigilantes guarding the community and other security operatives, they quickly mobilized and chased the gunmen, exchanged fire and overpowered them, and they subsequently rescued the victims unhurt. Now, residents of Gogalo village are saying they want the government to deploy security operatives to the area to reduce the pressure on the vigilante group and the police who have to rush to the area from Jibia, which is about 17 to 25 kilometers away, anytime there is an attack. Though they admitted that the area is now calm with residents going about their normal businesses, but they still insist that they need reinforcement of securities and urged Dikorada administration to sustain the current tempo of dealing with the bandits.
Thank you, Abdullahi, for that update. In the meantime, the corpse of a 16-year-old boy has been exhumed from a shallow grave in Gombe after he was gruesomely murdered by criminals. The remains of Alamin Adamu have been reburied according to Islamic rites, as Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail met with Alamin's family to understand the circumstances around his murder.
This family is grieving a tragic loss that caught the attention of Gombe State. Young Alamin is a victim of circumstance, allegedly murdered by a disgruntled employee of his father. His corpse has been exhumed from a shallow grave and buried according to Islamic rites. This is a betrayal. I can't forget this worst memory in my life. I loved my son so much. He is my firstborn. According to findings, a disgruntled employee working for Alamin's father masterminded the attack after losing his job due to allegations of stealing. I called on the state governor to intervene and order for the execution of the criminals according to what they did. They should be killed in public. This will serve as a lesson to others. The corpse has decomposed. The body was exhumed more than 10 days after the murder. It is very distressing. This grief-stricken family is calling on the authorities to find and prosecute the perpetrators and let justice be served. Young Alamin's death has unsettled the community as residents mourn the tragic loss while condemning the heinous act. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has arrested 9 suspects over alleged theft and breach of public peace in Gombe State. The command's public relations officer, Buhari Saad, while parading the suspects, called for collaborative effort with members of the public to mitigate criminal activities in the state. Here is Ibrahim Ismail with that report.
These suspects were arrested over alleged burglary and cow rustling. 5 people, including 2 women, were arrested for public disturbance by engaging in a fight.
Involving one, Ibrahim, who is now at large. They are fighting over phone, and it's a breach of public peace. We got them arrested, and they have all confessed to that crime. And the other category, we have the case of burglary and theft involving one, Bello Usman, male, 29 years old, a staff of the Federal Teaching Hospital, Gombe. He works with the nursing department. He stole 5 burglary windows belonging to a complainant who happens to be his elder brother.
Speaking to newsmen, the suspects confessed to the crimes.
I steal windows of my brother, 5 of them. I carry them to Kaswankatako. I sell them to somebody. No, it's just it's Islamia.
We rustled and sold the cow. The agent was arrested. We were informed. That was how we were arrested as well.
The
NSCDC said the suspect will be charged to court for trial as soon as investigations are concluded. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
3 persons have been killed with 3 others arrested in the Shagamu area of Ogun State, police authorities said on Monday. The Ogun State Police Command disclosed this in a statement, saying the victims died after rival cults clashed in the Agbowa area of Shagamu. The police public relations officer in the state, Omolola Dutola, stated that some suspects had been arrested in connection with the incident. She said upon receiving the information, the divisional police officer swiftly led a patrol team to the area. On arrival, they discovered 3 unidentified men lying lifeless with gunshot wounds. The public relations officer further informed the public that the victims were immediately rushed to Olabisi Onabonjo Teaching Hospital in Shagamu, where a doctor certified them dead, while their bodies were subsequently taken to the morgue. The State Commissioner of Police, Abiodun Alamutu, has ordered the deployment of men and officers of the command to instill confidence among residents, as well as maintain peace and order in and around Shagamu. You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. The news continues after the break. Do stay with us.
Since the movement of the federal capital to Abuja, the massive growth of the population and investments are gradually turning the city into a major spot for investment in Africa.
The Abuja Investment Summit and Expo is a public-private partnership powered by FCT Administration and Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
TDF Consultants as a platform to wow global investors into the city of Abuja. It also serves as a platform to present credible and bankable investment opportunities that are market ready for global investor engagement. It is a highly focused annual investment meeting to secure investors for identifiable business opportunities. The summit provides a forum for members of the public and private sectors to discuss factors that will help the Federal Capital Territory achieve a strong socio-economic development. For further inquiries,
hello and welcome to Creative Lounge on Trust TV. My name is Ahmed Mohammed Bello and I'm going to be taking you through my journey as an artist.
Despite the reassurances of the Central Bank of Nigeria on adequate cash supply, residents in Lagos appear to be experiencing difficulty accessing cash in circulation. Automated teller machines, ATM, in major parts of Lagos appear depleted, lacking sufficient cash, as residents express frustration over the situation. Victoria Tokolo brings us the reactions of residents affected by this declining cash flow. Her report is presented from our studios.
Monday, the first working day of the week, is known to be crucial, especially in a bustling city like Lagos, which is the commercial center of Nigeria. However, numerous ATM stands in the state capital, Ikeja, and neighboring Ifako, Ijaye, and Agege local government areas are empty, devoid of cash. Customers express dissatisfaction with this development, which has been ongoing for days now.
About 20-25 minutes to get a cash dispense from just one. Only one is dispensing for now. So I got just one. I cannot really say what the issue is or are, but I think there are no cash as concerned, because the first one that was dispensing was stopped, so we move on to the next one. That is what people are collecting cash for now. The entire ATM booths, just one is working. So it could be either scarcity of cash or the network itself. So I don't know, but sincerely, it's just all I know.
The long queue, I think maybe this was just one ATM machine I was working, and there were several there. All of them were right there, so no service on the rest of them. So just one ATM machine. So I think that was right there.
I didn't stay long. It just within 2 minutes, well, 1 or 2 minutes, so I've gotten my money and I left.
This cash scarcity is having a negative impact on the livelihood of people who, despite the central bank's call for the utilization of digital transaction, want to use cash for their everyday transactions. It remains to be seen whether this is a major problem or short-term supply shortage.
And from Lagos, we return to Abuja, where the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, on Monday received the United Arab Emirates Ambassador to Nigeria, Salim Saeed Al-Shamsi, at his office in Abuja. During the meeting, Wike expressed concerns over the visa ban on Nigerians and hoped that the UAE government would expedite lifting restrictions to enable Nigerians travel to the country. He commended the tourism attraction the UAE had garnered over the years and hoped that Nigeria would emulate it. The minister further said the relationship between both countries was important to foster national development and promised that the federal government would explore more ways to partner with the UAE to ensure economic growth in Nigeria. On his part, the ambassador explained that over the past months, the UAE government had been working to close some gaps and lift the visa ban on Nigerians.
We believe with the relationship the Mr. President has created between Nigeria and the United Arab Emirates, it is important for the city to consolidate.
Yes.
And we would like to partner with the United Arab Emirates as it relates to the city of Abuja. We have a lot in common. The United Arab Emirates have become a tourist center of the world.
Yes.
And that is what we also crave, that Abuja should also be a tourist center. And therefore we're open to discussions. And I believe that when Mr. President is coming, we believe that the FCT will be part of the delegation, so I'll be able to discuss on tourism as it relates to the two countries and the cities of the two.
Yes. As an ambassador, on behalf of Nigeria and on behalf of UAE also, I'm presenting UAE and presenting Nigeria too.
Yeah.
And Alhamdulillah also, my president, I call him my president tinubu, he's coming to UAE end of this month to attend the COP28, inshallah.
Okay, the end of the month.
Yeah, inshallah also. And that's going to be something great for us to have such a great person like him, to be honest with you.
And on the foreign scene, British leader Rishi Sunak on Monday sacked controversial Interior Minister Suella Braverman as he reshuffles his top team ahead of a general election expected next year. Sunak had come under growing pressure to axe Braverman, an outspoken right-winger, after critics accused her of heightening tensions during weeks of contentious pro-Palestinian demonstrations and counter-protests in Britain. It was not immediately clear who will replace Braverman. He was appointed to the post when Sunak became Prime Minister just over a year ago. The firing comes as the ruling Conservatives confirmed a major reshuffle of Sunak's top ministers was underway. The changes, set to be announced through the morning, are expected to reward loyalists and younger emerging MPs after nearly 14 years in power takes its toll on the Tories' popularity. The party has trailed the main Labour opposition by double-digit margins throughout Sunak's time in power and is widely tipped to lose the next election due next year. Braverman had stoked controversy throughout her tenure, taking a hardline stance on immigration in particular and regularly wading into so-called culture war issues, which are seen as dividing the electorate. Armed attackers tied up at least 19 villagers and killed them with machetes and other weapons in a raid in the Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo late on Sunday, according to a civil society leader. Other villagers fled but might have drowned as they tried to cross the Lamia River into Uganda, Maurice Mabele Musaidi told Reuters news agency. Musaidi and a spokesperson for the DRC army said the attack in Beni Territory's Watalinga chiefdom was carried out by the Allied Democratic Forces, an armed group based in the eastern DRC that has pledged allegiance to ISIL. The ADF was formed in Uganda in the 1990s before moving over to the border and has been blamed for thousands of killings in the last decade across both countries. The DRC's army said it killed at least 6 of the attackers on Sunday night, without going into details on the operation. Army spokesperson Anthony Alushai put the civilian death toll at 11, though he said that figure was provisional. UN compounds across Asia on Monday lowered the blue and white UN flag to half-mast to honor its workers who have died during the war in Gaza. WHO Director General Tedros Ghebreyesus warns of a dire and perilous situation, saying more patients, including premature babies, are dying. Gaza's 2 largest hospitals, Al-Shifa and Al-Quds, have both closed. Israeli snipers continue to fire at anyone near Al-Shifa hospital, trapping thousands inside. More than 11,000 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli attacks on Gaza since October the 7th, although the number has not been updated since contact was lost with key hospitals on Friday. In Israel, the death toll from Hamas's attacks stand at more than 1,200. Rights group Amnesty International says EU countries must call for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. It's time now to join Emmanuel Fashemi for Sports Update.
The Nigerian Women Football League (NWFL) will, for the first time in her history, be live on television when the 2023-2024 league season begins. In what has been described as a laudable moment in the country women's football development, the league organizers has confirmed the much anticipated live broadcast of games after 3.5 decades. The league body announced this milestone progress on her social media account by releasing a statement to the development. Since the league started in 1990, NWFL is set to improve prominence and appreciation of women's football in Nigeria. About 19 channels, including its official broadcast partners, have been penciled down to show the season opener between newly promoted Ekiti Queens and defending champions Delta Queens of Asaba live on Tuesday, 14th November 2023 at the Oluyemi Kayode Stadium in Ado Ekiti. The board of Nigerian Boxing Federation has placed indefinite suspension on its vice president, Azania Omo Agege. In a letter signed by the Secretary General of the Federation, Akinyele Oladapo, Azania Omo Agege impersonated as president of NBF, which was confirmed by various African Boxing Federation presidents. According to the statement, the decision to suspend him was taken at the board meeting held on 11th November 2023, in which he defended his actions concerning the unauthorized press release / letter to the International Boxing Association (IBA) that embarrassed the Nigerian Boxing Federation, Nigerian Olympic Committee, Federal Ministry of Sports, and the entire country. The statement shows that Azania Omo Agege faked and reproduced letterhead of the NBF without sanction. Azania Omo Agege has been ordered to withdraw the letter written to IBA on Nigeria, the suit against the world body, and issue a press statement disapproving the earlier release, write an apology to the president as well as the board within 21 days. And that is it on sports. I am Emmanuel Fashimi.
And before we go, here's a kicker. An Ethiopian official has pointed to the economic and financial benefits of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam after the government this week announced the dam's reservoir had been filled, sparking the ire of Egypt. Take a look.
It is a worthwhile project in terms of economic and financial benefit that will accrue to the country. So the current available capacity is about 14,000 gigawatt hour per year, and when the Renaissance Dam is completed, it will generate 15,700 gigawatt hour per year, so that will double the current capacity. Djibouti, interconnection with Sudan, interconnection with Kenya, and other countries will come also into the picture. So this will actually promote integration, regional integration, economic integration through power pool and interconnection.
With that Renaissance Dam from Ethiopia, you heard here that there's a complaint by the Egyptian government. We keep our eye on that story. And with that, we have come to the end of the News Hour on Trust TV tonight. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news and programs as well as documentaries. And from us all here, my name is Eugenia Abu. We truly thank you for joining us. Good night.
From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.